Hi, my name is Joe Shannon, and I work at a firm called Shannon Law Group, with some very talented people. So our firm represents people that are catastrophically injured in bad collisions, and a lot of times they demand some expertise. What I asked one of our attorneys, Patrick Cummings, to do was to really delve into this area of law during his practice. And during his years of practice, he's gotten repeated exposure to these cases. And in fact, I asked him if he'd be kind enough to write a book so that we could send it to our clients and our friends so they know exactly what's going on with these cases. And he did. He wrote a book called Avoiding a Trucking Nightmare. The good thing about this book is that you can download it from our website, but we'll also send you a copy of it. But hey, better than that, we have Patrick with us today to talk about some trucking litigation and trucking cases. So I'm hopeful that you'll enjoy this session. So you and I have been involved in cases in which we're seeking punitive damages. In fact, we had a case go to verdict in a cab case in which our client recovered a significant punitive damages award. Why don't you tell the listeners what exactly punitive damages are?
So punitive damages are not directly related to the losses sustained by the injured victim. Okay, so they're not medical bills, they're not pain and suffering, they're not loss of a normal life. Punitive damages are awarded with the intent to punish that defendant, or more importantly, in my opinion anyways, is to deter other people from that same conduct. And so in a trucking case or in a taxi cab case like the one we had, if we find that the trucking company just violated all sorts of safety rules and didn't train their drivers or didn't supervise their drivers and basically let people out on the road that shouldn't be going out on the road, we want to make sure that other companies don't look to this particular case and say, well, these guys got away with it, so I don't need to be doing any of those systems or have any of those systems in place at my own trucking company. So typically when we bring a punitive damages claim, one of the major, and correct me if you think I'm wrong here, Joe, one of the major reasons we do it is because we're highway safety advocates. And so we want more safe trucking companies. If the message that needs to be sent is a punitive damages award, then that's our job.
Corporations can only act through individuals. And, we have a number of cases in which the folks that are hired to get behind the wheel of commercial vehicles, they have no business driving one. And that's what happened in this cab company case we had, was they did absolutely zero vetting of this fella. And if they had done just a simple check of his driving record before, they would have found out that there's no way that this fella should have the keys. But secondly, we've had cases recently, Patrick, where there's been drivers that have been suspended not once, not twice, but maybe 5 or 6 times from driving any vehicle, let alone a commercial vehicle. And, in those types of cases, when people are, entrusting trucking companies, commercial vehicle folks that own those companies to their safety of, themselves and their loved ones, I think there's a place for punitive damages in those cases. And, the truth of the matter is that in Illinois, for example, we have to file a petition to the court to be allowed to seek those punitive damages. And, we do so in the cases that deserve it. We don't in the cases that don't deserve it. But unfortunately, there's been a number that we've had where it's just been, frankly, unconscionable that the keys were given to this commercial driver. So, that's why it's important to get an investigation on these things right away.
We have cases, and we've had cases in the past where it's obvious that the driver was just a bad actor. We've had defendants that have been driving, under the influence of certain intoxicants, and that's one thing. Unfortunately, I have a lot of cases where the driver is just a really nice person, but it's just been put in an untenable position where they basically weren't given the tools they needed to be successful at their job. That falls on the company, and the company has an obligation to make sure that the people are trained, to make sure they're vetted. But a lot of times the bottom line kind of takes over, and they figure we can save a few pennies on this end. Unfortunately, what that means for our clients is that there's some catastrophic injuries.
Well, thank you so much, Patrick. I really appreciate you taking time. And again, thanks for writing your book. It's called Avoiding a Trucking Nightmare, What You Need to Know After a Truck-Related Injury. And it's simple to read. It's a good resource, and you can pick it up at shannonlawgroup.com. You should also, if you like the information that we're providing to you, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel at Shannon Law Group. So I hope you enjoyed this taping, and we look forward to hosting more of these tapes in the future. Thank you very much.